This is an urgent call for all awakened souls. Today is Monday, September 8th. The eclipse is over. The great purge is complete. The cosmic storm has passed. Before I say another word, I want you to do one thing. Be still, and just for a moment, feel the air around you. Can you sense it? The silence. Not a silence of emptiness, but a silence of profound peace. The chaotic electric static that filled the world for the past few weeks is gone. The psychic noise has ceased. The air itself feels clean, crisp, and new, as if the entire world has just been washed clean by a divine rain. Now, bring that awareness inside. Feel into your own being. Can you feel that? The quiet in your mind, the old, anxious, repetitive hum of the observer loop has fallen silent. The heavy cloak of ancestral and collective grief that you were carrying has been lifted from your shoulders. There is a sense of lightness, of spaciousness, of a quiet, unshakable peace in your own heart. Do not question this feeling. Do not doubt it. This, chosen one, is not your imagination. This is the first tangible evidence that you have successfully passed through the eclipse gate. You made the choice. You held your frequency. You are the lighthouse in the storm, and you have made it to the other side. Welcome to the first dawn of your new epoch. The prophecy has been fulfilled. The great karmic purge of the blood moon in Pisces has completed its sacred work. As you slept last night, the final vestiges of your old timeline were dissolved. The energetic contracts that bound you to patterns of struggle and limitation were rendered null and void. You have been energetically reborn into a new, pristine, and exquisitely coherent reality. The miracle that was in transit has now been successfully delivered to your energetic field. It is sitting there now, a radiant sphere of golden potential in your aura, waiting for the final, gentle command to crystallize into your physical, 3D experience. You have won. But this is why this message had to find you today, on this first, critical day of the new epoch. Because in this pristine new energy, the rules of creation have changed. Your creative power, your ability to manifest, has been amplified 1,000-fold. The quantum field, now cleansed by the eclipse, is like a smooth, untouched canvas of wet cement, or a field of freshly tilled, fertile soil. It is hyperreceptive. In this new reality, a single, coherent thought or feeling can manifest with breathtaking speed. The lag time between the energetic and the physical has been dramatically reduced. This is the gift, but it is also the new danger. For this amplification works both ways. Just as a seed of joy will grow into a magnificent tree overnight, a single, carelessly planted seed of doubt can grow into a forest of thorns with equal speed. There is one subtle, almost invisible mistake that the newly awakened ego is programmed to make in the days following a major spiritual breakthrough. A mistake born not of malice, but of old programming. A mistake that, if made in this hyperreceptive new field, will not just cause a minor setback, it will sabotage the entire divine gift that God has prepared for you. It will take the glorious miracle sitting in your field and nullify its delivery. This transmission is your first briefing for this new world. It is not about how to achieve a shift anymore. It is now about how to protect and nurture the profound shift you have already created. The miracle is yours. It is sitting in your energetic field, waiting to take physical form. But its safe and full arrival depends entirely on you avoiding this one subtle trap over the next few crucial days. So what is this new, pristine state of reality you have entered? What are the new rules of creation that you must now master? Let us first understand the nature of the post-eclipse field. To understand the critical nature of the warning I am about to give you, you must first understand the new environment you are now in. You have woken up today in a new world. The air you are breathing is the air of a new epoch. And this new world operates under a new set of energetic laws. The cosmic reset of the blood moon eclipse was not just a cleansing. It was a complete and total repaving of the very fabric of reality. Imagine for a moment that for your entire life, you have been trying to build a beautiful castle on the shore of a chaotic, stormy ocean. Every day you would try to build, and every night a chaotic wave of collective fear, of personal doubt, of karmic interference would come and wash away your hard work. This was the nature of the old field. It was a liquid, turbulent, and often hostile environment for creation. The eclipse was a great cosmic event that did two things. First, it commanded the storm to cease. Second, it caused the great ocean to recede, leaving behind a vast, pristine, and perfectly smooth expanse of what we will call quantum cement. For the next few days, the very foundation of your reality is in this state. It is not a chaotic liquid anymore. It is a soft, impressionable, and highly malleable medium. The quantum field is in its most receptive state, a blank slate waiting for the first, defining impressions to be made upon it. This is the great gift of the post-eclipse window, but it is also the source of the great danger. Because while this quantum cement is wet, anything and everything that touches it will leave a permanent imprint. In the old reality, it took immense, sustained focus to make a lasting change. You had to push against the storm. Now, in this pristine, receptive silence, even a single, powerful, emotionally charged impulse, a single feeling, a single choice, will be imprinted into the foundation of your new reality with breathtaking speed and permanence. This is the secret of this new epoch. Your creative power has been amplified 1,000-fold. The lag time between your inner state and its outer reflection has been almost completely eliminated. This is happening because the great purge of the eclipse did not just remove negative energy. It dissolved the very scaffolding of the old paradigm. The old energetic laws and structures that created resistance and delay are, for this brief window, suspended. This has created what physicists would call a coherence vacuum. The field is now desperately, actively seeking a new, stable pattern to lock onto, to crystallize around. It is more receptive to conscious direction now than it will be for another generation. Your observer effect is on hyperdrive. In the old world, your focus was a gentle suggestion to the quantum field. Today, your focus is a non-negotiable command. This leads to the two paths of solidification that are before you in this very moment. If, in these next crucial days, you plant a seed of coherent, unwavering trust into this wet cement, it will begin to cure around that seed. It will form a beautiful, perfect, crystalline structure of divine, sacred geometry. This will become the unshakable foundation of your new reality, a foundation upon which a life of grace, flow, and miracles can be effortlessly built. But, if in these next crucial days, you unconsciously make the mistake we are about to discuss, if you plant a seed of doubt, of fear, of disbelief into this pristine, wet cement, it will cure with a deep, ugly scar running through its very core. That scar, that imprint of your doubt, will become the new foundational limiting pattern. It will become a new energetic groove that will be 10 times more difficult to overcome than the old observer loop. Because it was set and solidified in this new, high-powered, sacred energy. You would be, in effect, sabotaging your new world before you even take your first steps in it. This is why this message is so critical. You are standing on the fresh, wet cement of your new creation. You are holding in your heart the power to create a flawless, crystalline masterpiece, or to accidentally create a foundation that is permanently scarred. The choice is made with your very next energetic impulse, your very next core feeling. So, what is this one, subtle, almost invisible mistake? What is the reflexive act of unconscious sabotage that could scar this pristine new reality before it even has a chance to set? It is an instinct so deeply programmed into the human ego that most will make it in the coming hours without even realizing what they are doing. Let us now unmask the ego's great, triumphant, and potentially devastating re-entrance. You are standing now on the pristine, untouched soil of your new timeline. The quantum field around you is a vast expanse of wet cement, impressionable and ready to receive your command. You have passed the test. You have survived the eclipse. You have received the confirmation. The miracle, the divine gift from God, is sitting in your energy field, a radiant seed of potential, ready to sprout. And now, you face the final and most subtle boss battle of this entire process. It is not an external demon. It is not a force of the matrix. It is a deeply programmed, reflexive instinct from a part of your own consciousness that is terrified of the power you now hold. So what is this great mistake? What is the single act of unconscious sabotage that could scar this pristine new reality before it has a chance to set? It can be named in 4 simple words: the search for proof. That is it. The temptation, in the hours and days following a profound spiritual event, to immediately look for physical, 3D, material evidence that the shift was real. It is the most natural, most logical, and most devastatingly destructive thing you can do right now. You must understand the psychology of this trap. Your ego, your logical mind, is the master of the 5 senses reality. It is a creature of the material world. The profound, heart-centered, energetic shift you experienced during the eclipse was a higher dimensional event. It happened in a realm your ego cannot measure, cannot touch, and cannot control, and that terrifies it. The ego feels like it has just lost its job as the sole narrator of your reality. And so, in a desperate attempt to regain control, it makes a simple, seemingly innocent demand. Show me the proof. It is the ego's grand, triumphant re-entrance onto the stage, masquerading as rational thought. It is the voice that whispers, "A nice feeling is one thing, but I'll believe it when I see the money in my bank account." It is the voice that says, "If that connection was so real, why haven't they texted me yet?" It is the voice that demands a sign, a synchronicity, a validation from the external world to prove that the internal world is real. Let me show you exactly how this seemingly innocent search for proof manifests, so you can catch it in the act. For those of you whose miracle is an abundance stream, the mistake will manifest as the financial audit. It is the compulsive urge to refresh your banking app, to check your email for a notification of a surprise payment, to look for a physical sign of money. Each time you do this, you are not acting from a place of faith. You are acting from a place of deep, underlying doubt. You are energetically screaming at the universe, "It's not here yet. I don't see it. I don't really believe it's come." And you are taking that sharp, jagged frequency of "not here yet" and carving it directly into the wet cement of your new reality. For those whose miracle is a union stream, the mistake manifests as the relational audit. It is the act of checking your phone, staring at the name of a specific person, wondering when they will reach out. It is the act of analyzing the behavior of your current partner, looking for proof that they have changed. It is the act of scrolling through dating apps or social media, looking for the face of your soulmate. Each of these actions broadcasts the powerful magnetic frequency of "I am still separate from the love I desire." It is an affirmation of loneliness, and it is being imprinted directly onto the pristine field that is trying to deliver your perfect union to you. And for all of you, the most common form of this mistake is the sign-seeking obsession. After the eclipse, you will be tempted to desperately hunt for synchronicities, to look at every license plate, to analyze every song lyric, demanding that the universe prove itself to you. But the nature of signs has now changed. Before the eclipse, signs were a gentle encouragement. Now, after your activation, demanding a sign is an act of distrust. It is like you have planted a beautiful, perfect seed in the most fertile soil, and instead of trusting the process of germination, you are getting on your hands and knees and frantically digging around it, shouting, "Is it growing yet? Is it real?" This frantic, anxious energy, this need for proof, is the very thing that will sever the delicate, nascent roots of your miracle and cause it to wither before it ever has a chance to break through the soil. This is the great sabotage. It is not an attack from an external enemy. It is a subtle, insidious act of internal disbelief that poisons the well of your new creation. I know this temptation is almost unbearable. I know because I have fallen into this exact trap myself and paid the heartbreaking price. Let me share with you the story of the seed I once dug up, so that you may learn from my mistake and become the sacred guardian of your own. I know this temptation to seek for proof is almost unbearable. I know the voice of the ego, masquerading as logic, can be overwhelmingly persuasive. I know this because I have fallen into this exact trap myself, and I have paid the heartbreaking price. I am going to share this story with you now, a vulnerable confession from my own journey, not to scare you, but to save you from the pain of learning this lesson the hard way. I have already made the mistake, so that you do not have to. Several years ago, I was in a period of intense spiritual seeking, focusing all of my creative energy on manifesting a specific, life-changing opportunity. It was a creative partnership that my soul knew was part of my divine purpose. I had been meditating on it, aligning with it, and doing all the inner work. One evening, I had a breakthrough. During a deep meditation, I experienced a profound energetic shift. I was shown a vision of the project complete, and I was filled with a sense of absolute, unshakable, cellular level, knowing that the opportunity was mine. It was not a hope, it was not a wish. The feeling was so real, it felt like a memory of the future. The peace and certainty that washed over me were indescribable. I knew, with a calm that surpassed all understanding, that the divine was arranging everything. The miracle was in motion. My only job was to hold that frequency of knowing and wait for the physical world to catch up. I went to sleep that night in a state of pure bliss. But then, The morning came. I woke up, and for a few beautiful moments, the feeling of certainty was still there. But then, the ego mind, the frantic accountant of the 3D world, began to stir. It started quietly at first, a subtle whisper. If it's so real, shouldn't there be some sign? An email perhaps, a phone call. It's been a whole 12 hours. Surely, if it was that certain, there would be some external proof by now. I tried to ignore it, to hold on to the pure feeling from the night before. But the voice grew louder, more logical, more persuasive. This is just business, it said. You can't just sit here and do nothing. That's irresponsible. What's the harm in sending a quick, friendly email? Just a little nudge, to show them you're proactive. It's the professional thing to do. This was the great seduction. The ego was taking a sacred, spiritual certainty and trying to subject it to the clumsy, profane rules of the old material world. The battle in my mind was immense. My soul was screaming, "Be still, trust, it is done." But my ego was screaming louder, "Prove it, control it, make it happen." And in a moment of profound weakness, a moment I will never forget, I listened to the ego. I betrayed the sacred trust I had established with the universe. I opened my laptop and I wrote the little nudge email. As I typed the words, just checking in to see if there are any updates, I felt a sickening lurch in my stomach. I felt the beautiful, warm, coherent field of certainty I had been basking in instantly begin to cool and contract. It was the feeling of inauthenticity, the feeling of doubt. But the ego was relentless. "Just press send," it said. "You'll feel better once you have an answer." So I pressed send, and in that instant, I felt it. The sacred, magical connection to the miracle shattered. The beautiful, coherent feeling of peace from the day before did not just fade. It vanished, completely and totally, replaced by the cold, heavy, familiar static of anxiety and desperate hope. I had instantly collapsed the wave function of a divinely guaranteed miracle back into the low frequency, predictable pattern of chasing and needing. I had been sitting in the throne room of my own power, and I had just voluntarily walked back into the prison cell of doubt. The response to the email came a few hours later. It was polite, professional, and non-committal. The energy had shifted. The magic was gone. The project, which had felt so divinely orchestrated, dissolved into nothing over the next few weeks. The door that had been flung wide open by the universe was slammed shut, not by any external force, but by my own hand. I had been given the most beautiful, perfect seed, and in my frantic need for proof, I had dug it up to see if it was growing, and in doing so, I had killed it. I learned the most painful and powerful lesson of my life that day. The universe was preparing a magnificent feast for me. All that was required of me was to wait in a state of joyful, trusting anticipation. But I got scared. I ran into the divine kitchen, complaining that the food wasn't ready yet. And in my panic, I knocked over the stove and insulted the divine chef. The banquet was cancelled. I share this story so you understand what is at stake. You are in that same sacred moment right now. The feast is being prepared for you. The seed is in the soil. Do not make the same mistake I did. But how do we cultivate this unwavering trust? How do we silence the ego's frantic need for proof? It is not a battle of willpower, it is a practice of embodiment. And in this next moment, we will perform an activation to do just that. An activation to install a new program, the protocol of embodied trust. I have shown you the path of doubt. I have shared with you its heartbreaking consequences. Now, I will guide you on the path of trust. But we will do more than just talk about trust. We will forge it. We will install it into your very being as a new, unbreakable protocol. We will create within you an anchor of such profound certainty that the frantic whispers of the ego's need for proof will be silenced forever in its presence. This is the sacred work. This is how you protect what God has prepared for you. So I invite you, for the final time in this transmission, to find your center, settle your body, and if you are ready to end the search for proof and become the source of your own certainty, gently close your eyes. Let us begin by returning to the sacred moment of the eclipse. I want you to travel back in your immediate memory to the activation we performed together yesterday. Go back to the moment you chose the Serpent of Ascension. Remember the feeling as its crystalline, feathered light coiled around you. Remember the profound peace. Remember the unshakable clarity. Remember the feeling of absolute victory and liberation. That feeling is not just a memory. It is a living, breathing frequency that exists within the library of your soul right now. I want you to call it forth. Summon that exact frequency of coherent, victorious peace from the archive of your heart. Feel it beginning to fill your chest once more. Excellent. Now, we will take this raw, beautiful energy of knowing, and we will forge it into an unbreakable tool. You are now a cosmic blacksmith, standing at the sacred forge of your own heart. We will create your anchor of trust. First, I want you to gather the light. With your intention, pull all of that radiant, certain, peaceful feeling from every corner of your being into a single, brilliant sphere of light in the very center of your heart. See it and feel it becoming brighter, more concentrated, gathering all of your power into one single point. Now, we apply the pressure. With your will, I want you to visualize this sphere of light being compressed. Make it denser, more solid, more real than anything you have ever felt in the physical world. You are taking the ethereal energy of faith and you are crystallizing it, giving it substance, giving it weight. Feel its density, feel its unshakable solidity. This is the substance of pure, embodied truth. And now, we will cool and solidify this creation. Visualize that you are taking this super dense, brilliant sphere of crystallized trust and you are dipping it into the cool, silent, infinite waters of your soul's deepest wisdom. As you do, you hear a gentle, cosmic hiss, and the light solidifies into its final, permanent form. Perhaps it is a magnificent, glowing golden anchor. Perhaps it is a flawless, internally lit diamond. Perhaps it is a crystal that hums with the music of the spheres. Whatever its form, see it now, feel it now, resting in the center of your being. This is your anchor of trust. It is real. It is yours. Feel its weight. Feel its unwavering stability. And now, we will test it. I want you to gently bring to your mind the one thing your ego has been desperately seeking proof of. The financial miracle, the soulmate connection, the creative breakthrough. Let the thought of it come to your mind. And as you do, notice the old, frantic energy that might arise with it. The needy, anxious feeling of, is it here yet? Where is it? Now, on your next exhale, I want you to drop the anchor. Feel the profound, solid weight of your newly forged anchor of trust dropping from your heart deep into the core of your being. Feel its stabilizing force instantly calming the frantic, stormy seas of your ego's doubt. Feel how the anxious questions simply cease. They have no power here. They cannot exist in the same space as this profound, embodied certainty. The anchor holds. Your trust is stronger than your doubt. And so now, with the feeling of this anchor holding you steady, we will make a final, sacred vow. A vow that installs this as your new default program. A vow that ends the search for proof forever. Repeat these words silently in the temple of your heart, as a command to every cell in your body and every particle in the universe. I have witnessed the illusion of doubt, and I have now chosen the reality of trust. I am the proof. My inner state of knowing is the only validation I will ever need. The external world is but a shadow cast by the light of my own embodied certainty. I trust the divine process. I trust the divine timing. I am the anchor. You have not just learned about trust, you have forged it into an unbreakable, sovereign tool within the very core of your being. The frantic, self-sabotaging search for proof is over. You are no longer the digger of seeds. You are now the source of your own certainty. You have installed the new protocol. You have forged your anchor. Now, what is your sacred duty for today and the days that follow? How do you walk through the world as this newly anchored being? Let us now discuss the first fruits of this new way of life. Gently now, bring your awareness back to the fullness of your being. Feel the solid, unwavering weight of the anchor of trust in your heart. You have not just performed a visualization, you have engaged in a sacred act of quantum alchemy. You have transmuted the ethereal energy of faith into a tangible, sovereign tool within the core of your own spirit. The frantic, self-sabotaging search for proof is over. You are no longer the digger of seeds. You are the source of your own certainty. You have installed the new protocol. You have forged your anchor. And now, your sacred duty for today, and for the crucial days that follow, is to learn how to walk through the world as this newly anchored being. Your mission is no longer to achieve a shift. The shift has occurred. Your new mission is to live from the reality of that shift, regardless of what the lagging shadow play of the 3D world may reflect back to you for a short while. You must understand this critical truth. The physical world you see with your eyes is an echo. It is a shadow cast by the energetic reality of yesterday. To look at your current circumstances for proof of your new reality is like looking in your rearview mirror to see the road ahead. Your sacred duty today is to live by faith, not by sight. It is to walk, talk, and make your choices based not on the old echo, but on the new, solid, undeniable truth of the anchor you hold within your heart. So what does this acting as if truly mean? It is not about pretending, it is about embodying. If the miracle God has prepared for you is one of abundance, your duty today is not to spend money you do not have. It is to move through your day with the feeling of abundance. It is in the small, symbolic acts. Tip a little extra for your coffee, from a place of generosity, not lack. Organize your wallet, creating a beautiful, respectful home for the money that is on its way. Spend an hour not worrying about bills, but joyfully planning what you will do with the overflow that is coming. Every act broadcasts a frequency. Your mission is to ensure every act today broadcasts the frequency of it is already done. If your miracle is one of sacred union, your duty today is not to frantically search for your partner. It is to become the partner you wish to attract. Treat yourself with the profound love, respect, and adoration you desire from another. Take yourself on a date. Prepare a beautiful meal just for you. Fill your own cup so completely that your radiant overflow becomes the magnetic beacon that effortlessly draws your divine counterpart to you. You are to live as a being who is already whole, already complete, already loved. And if your miracle is one of purpose, your duty today is to dedicate one sacred hour to your creative passion, not as a hobby, not as something to do when you have the time. You are to treat it as your sacred work, the most important job you have. This act of devotion, this honoring of your own divine genius, is the signal to the universe that you are ready to be supported fully in your mission. This is the art of living from the end. You ignore the shadows on the wall and you align every choice, every action, with the truth of the anchor in your heart. And if you can do this, if you can hold this state of embodied trust for the next 24 to 48 hours, the universe will begin to respond. It will send you what we call the first fruits. These are not the full harvest of your miracle just yet. They are the first green sprouts pushing through the soil, undeniable proof to reward your faith. It might be a small, unexpected sum of money appearing. It might be a stranger giving you a compliment that speaks directly to your heart. It might be an obstacle that has been blocking your path, mysteriously dissolving without any effort on your part. When you see these first fruits, your final test is to not get overexcited and revert back to the frantic search for more proof. Your job is to simply place your hand on your heart, acknowledge the sign, and whisper silently, "Thank you, I see you, I trust." You are to be the calm, knowing gardener who sees the first sprout and, instead of digging it up, simply continues to water it with their quiet, unwavering faith. And now, for your final declaration, this is the mantra of your new Epoch. This is the phrase that will forever remind you of where your true power lies. I want you to go to the comments below and seal your new protocol, your new way of being, with this sacred vow: the shift is real, my trust is my power. By typing these words, you are anchoring your commitment to this new reality. You are declaring that your search for external validation is over. You are the source. You are the proof. There are other awakened souls who are standing on their own wet cement right now, tempted to make the mistake of doubt. Be the guide, share this protocol with them. And finally, your old reality required one set of rules. This new post-eclipse reality requires another. To continue receiving the essential briefings for navigating this new earth, you must subscribe and remain connected to this frequency. Your training for this new world is essential, and it continues by watching our next transmission on interpreting the first fruits, the new language of post-eclipse synchronicities. Go forth now, awakened soul, not as a seeker of proof, but as the living embodiment of the truth. Walk through this day as if your miracle is already a foregone conclusion, because in the only reality that matters, it is. Your faith is your power. Your trust is your creative command. Let the world catch up to you.